Good afternoon. Thank you for joining our webinar sessions today. My name is Tiana Tran. I'm your host for today's webinar. In today's sessions, we aim to give you some show you some document process and workflows that you can use in your practice to improve your practice productivity. And presenting today's webinar, we have Alee, who is a registered BAS agent and has been using GovReports from the earlier days. So hopefully you can pick up a few tips from her on how to use GovReport in your practice. Before we start, can I get a raise of hands if you can hear me? Thanks, Vicky. Thanks, Robin. Okay, thanks, Tanya. Sounds good. It looks like everyone can hear us. Good. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the website by tomorrow morning for those who want to revisit at your convenience or those that cannot make today's sessions. During the webinar, if you have questions, please send them through to the chat box so we can attend to them during the questions time. Anyway, so let us get started. Pass it over to you, Alee.
Thanks very much, Tiana, and hello everybody, and welcome aboard on our Build Your Own Workflow Management process that we're going to look at today. So today, what we're going to look at is the ATO services for your clients within GovReports, setting up your GovReports Office Practice Manager to track and complete work more efficiently, how we can use it to promote productivity of your staff, using checklists to work more efficiently, and how you can onboard new staff within GovReports and get them up to speed with your processes. So one of the things is that GovReports simplifies the way that you can communicate with the ATO. So within a client, you can view and or maintain some of the ATO services such as ATO accounts, maintaining authorization, removing a client, updating client addresses, looking at the authorized contacts and updating associates, financial duties, and also syncing information from there. So I'm going to switch across now to our GovReports screen so we can go through and have a look at how this works within here. So bear with me while I just go across to that screen. There we go. Oh, that's doing its own little funny thing at the moment. So bear with me with my technical issue why it's not going across to my, there it is, my Chrome. There we go. It's because I was choosing the wrong thing. Operator error there. Okay, so what you're seeing now on the screen is the GovReports dashboard when you first log in. Now, I'm a BAS agent, so tax agents may see something a little different with a little bit more detail, but because there will be different functionalities that they have that I won't have access to. So this is my dashboard here. It's a very quick synopsis showing me with my communications with the ATO. In here, I can see lots of different things. I get a very quick snapshot of what reports I might have saved and not lodged yet, what's been processed today, what's been lodged, etc. So you can see all the information, and you've got a little graph down the bottom here to also show information. So I'm going to look first of all at the ATO services within the client's area. So within the client itself, you'll notice that you have your client list. And in there, you have the different stages of where they are, leads, etc. And when I go into one of my clients, such as my girl, and it opens up, on the right-hand side in the top corner here, you'll see the ATO services with those functionalities that I discussed. So if we look at the ATO accounts in the first instance, what you'll find is it will pop up here where you can synchronize the account and get the integrated client account. Now, this account is not going to have anything on it, so what I'll do is pop back very quickly to our PowerPoint presentation where I can actually take you through and show you when you synchronize how it will come up on your screen like this, and you can then click on the View button and you'll see the information appearing here for you. Now, that gives you a very quick look on the screen, but if you want to work with that further, you can also choose to export it to Excel or take it out to a PDF. So you can also go through and set up, when you're having a look at it in another area, the date range you also want to do. So that's a little bit about how you can access that integrated client account and have a look at what the balance is, what might be outstanding. You can see what returns have been lodged, what payments have been received. I'm going to go back now into our one here, and I'm going to have a look here now at the client address. So in the client address here, you'll find that it connects to the ATO so that it will come up and provide you with information. Now this is going to have an error because it's a test sort of file. So once again, I'm going to pop back very quickly into my PowerPoint to show you how, when you click on that client address, when it connects with the ATO, you've got this information here about the client, and you can simply click on that edit button, which then allows you to go through and update the business and postal address. There are other services that are on there as well, such as authorised contacts, associates, syncing from the ATO, and updating financial institution details, I should say. So there's some of the things you can do within the client area, but let's just elaborate a little bit more and look at some of the other features we can get relating to this area. So I'm going back into our Chrome. So bear with me for a moment whilst I go there. So with our Chrome, you can see that in here we have, I'm back at the the dashboard has disappeared. I've got my client details here, but I have this navigation area here that I can look at. And I'm going to look specifically in the My Lodgements area. So in the My Lodgements, you can see these are the reports that you may have been working on, have saved, and are ready to either send off signature for the client or you're still working on them. You'll notice that you also have BAS payment options. So if you have lodged a return for a client, you have this option here, which will come up and provide the details of how they can make their payment. So it's got this information here, and that's information pulled and provided by the ATO, as you can see. You also have your historic lodgements. Your historic lodgements will show you for a specific date range. If I was to choose this, I'll just do 2000 just to see if I get anything popping up. But what you will have here is a history of all the lodgements you have made. When you go into these areas, you're able to see what date the lodgement was, for what period it was, and you can actually look at the lodgement itself. One of the most useful areas that has been added is the activity statement summary area. This area is so useful because what you can do is you can see what has or hasn't been returned during a certain period. So it will link directly with the ATO and extract information as to what lodgements have been made, what lodgements are outstanding, and you can even use it for planning with your cash flow, because you will also see any future PAYG income tax installments showing for the next and upcoming BAS. So what I might do is flick back to my PowerPoint for a moment, because once again, it's a demo file, so it's making sure that you can sort of see what it looks like. And I'm just going to get to my next slide. There we go, it's a bit slow coming back. Bear with me, there we go. So when you choose your client and the financial year, you can see what's been lodged, all the different fields, and you can, if you were doing say 2022, you might find that you've done the September and you're in the process of doing December. These may be blank, and if you have a PAYG income tax instalment, it's going to show around in here. The same with if you've around in the 5. And you're going to find that you've got your FBT instalments, depending on what sort of settings there are for that client. Now, whilst I'm here, I'm going to talk about the outstanding reports. Back in that main My Lodgements area, another way of communicating and getting information is, sorry, I just got a message that popped up about internet and degrading, so hopefully it will stay and stable. You may want to see what reports are outstanding. So you can go through and actually have a list of what reports are currently outstanding and set that up to be automated with your clients, so it pulls their outstanding reports. So you're always able to see what is upcoming. So this is going to help you with managing your workflow. I'm going to flick back once again to the file here. And so in here, if I click on the outstanding reports, it will come up and say to me that this is the outstanding report that is currently due. Now, if I want to set that up with a client, I can go to the My Clients. I can choose my client here. And in here, I have the outstanding reports area. To add my client, so it will automatically pull those outstanding reports, I click that and I tick the ATO forms and click update. And then when that happens, it will update with the information if there are any outstanding reports. Now, as I'm a BAS agent, it's showing me the activity statements. A tax agent may see a little bit more information on their screen. Within the My Practice area, there is a new area called ATO Communications. This allows you to keep on top of the communications that the ATO has with your clients. And you can now request, retrieve, view, download, and share any historical ATO client communications without having to log into the portal. It means that you are always aware of what communication has gone out to your client. It gives you that insight. You are aware of it, you can see it, and you can set up the communications for one client, multiple clients, or your whole client list. Now, this sample one doesn't show it clearly, but what it does do, coming back, of course, to my PowerPoint just to demonstrate that for you, is, and I'm just waiting for the screen to come up. When you click on the ATO communication, you enable your ATO communication, and when you do that, you'll choose the clients and it will come up with all the name of the ones that you've chosen, which I've blanked out because it's my ones, and it will tell you how they were communicated with. And here you can either view, download, or email them as a reminder to your client. So Tiana, we have a question there. Can you do the outstanding report preference as a bulk, or do you have to go into each client to tick the box? So I thought that might be a good point to ask a question there.
Sorry, Alee. Yes, you can do the outstanding report preference as individually and as well as in bulk for all your client list. So if you go into My Lodgements or where you are on that list, go to outstanding reports, and if you go to the action tab, which is the 3 horizontal bar, client configurations, and you can see all your client list there. It's usually 10 clients per page, but if you've got more than 10 clients, make sure you put the whole to 100, and then just all the clients on the top.
And then save.
That's correct.
And I showed you the individual one because I have a tendency that when I set up a new client, I actually set up the outstanding reports right then and there as well. It's a part of my workflow process when I'm setting up a new client. Okay, so I'm just got another question there. Just having a look. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, you're right. It is an amazing feature, the outstanding reports, and how you can keep track of your jobs and the client progress. You can see where everything is at a glance very easily.
We also have a question from Vicky.
Yep.
Can you obtain a report of all clients owing money? This would be handy to remind the clients to pay the BAS, etc. It's individual at the moment, not all, isn't it, Sandeep? Yeah. We'll come back to that, Vicky, Alee.
Okay. All right. So there's some of the ways that you can actually get information from the ATO, have that correspondence back and forwards, have that free flow of information that helps you keep track of where you're going with your lodgements, what communications have been happening with the clients, what's outstanding and left to do. So how do you optimize your workflow and streamline it in GovReports? Well, I'm going to look at some of the ways that you can put processes in place using the practice management side of GovReports. Now, the practice management side comes free with your GovReports, and it's in the My Practice area down here on the part of the screen. This is also the area where you can go through and set up that ATO client communication. So there are some other tools that you can utilize on top of in the Office Practice Manager and to link things to make things a little easier. You have the ability to link up with your calendars. You can set reminders and notifications. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about is that when you're bringing a new staff member on and you're wanting them to be able to prepare or lodge BASs, depending on the qualifications and the levels of and all that sort of thing, and the supervisory nature of things, you will need to have them as another user. So to do that, before we get into the My Practice area, you need to go to the Authorised Users area in GovReports, and you add a new user, put in their name, and down here you can choose to add an additional license. That way they are able to prepare the BAS, work in the files, and work in the practice management system for you. Without that user there, you're not able to assign jobs to somebody who's not a user. So within the practice area, you can, as I said, you can assign your tasks to your staff, you can delegate work to the staff, you can set up checklists, and you can organise your workflow. And this makes things, in conjunction with using the lodgement area of GovReports, it makes things work very, very efficiently. Now, one of the things you can do so that you get a bird's eye view of what's due on what date is you can link your calendar to in your practice area. So in the calendar area here, when my screen decides to respond, there we go. You can see here that at the moment the calendar is just set up with my GovReports. and it's going to populate things when things are due that may have been set up. Now it's taking a little while because something is going on, but you can see here now that there is these tasks that you have set up within the practice management area that now populate on your calendar, so you can see at a very visual way of what is due and when. And these are jobs that you have set up within the My Practice. You also have the ability to link it to your Google or your Outlook calendar if you want to do so. Now, when you go to click it onto a Google Calendar, it asks you if you want to connect your Google Calendar, and you follow the steps and go to connect it. I'm just going to leave it for the moment. The other thing that's going to help you as well is setting things such as client reminders, but also setting your own notifications. To do that, we go into the settings area in the top, in our practice settings, and you'll find the notification settings. So what this will do is it will send notifications when jobs are created, allocated, status changed, adding a comment. You can notify it for different things when jobs are recurring and tasks happening. So you can see here that you have this different level of notification setting that also helps with reminders and process implementation. So back in My Practice again, you'll find that there are a number of notifications and alerts that appear. The ones I just talked about then were related to My Practice. If I was to go into My Clients, I'm just going to double check whether I'm speaking out of my hat or not. No, there it is there. You'll notice that that's the practice settings. That's the ones I'm going to use. You can also set up alerts around things around. You'll get an alert when the digital authentication status changes. So if someone has signed something or you've set it off, the queue lodgement status will change, and the timesheet approvals will also have an impact in the notifications area. So now let's take a look at how we can track and complete our work proficiently and efficiently using the practice side of Office Practice Manager. So we've talked about the calendar and how when we've got the reminders set up, it will actually populate and pop up on our calendar and we'll get a notification. As I said, the Practice Manager is free with the GovReports. And what it allows us to do is we can utilize the time billing, the reports, templates and letters, but more importantly, we can allocate jobs. We can set up all our tasks as all our clients having specific jobs. So if we have a client that has a monthly IAS to report, we can set that up to be a recurring job. So we're going to take a quick look at how we do that. Then we're going to look at My Tasks. So these are the tasks that we set up within the jobs. So we will have certain tasks that have to be performed. And when we look at our tasks, you'll see that there are different types of tasks. We have our default task, we have our custom task. So we can customize to the needs of our client and ourselves in our practice. So it comes with a number of default task templates already. And you can either choose to clone those, or use those, or you can create your own, or take a copy and amend it to make it your own. So if you wanted to clone a task, all you do is go onto the task template name and click clone. And in here, you would give it a new name, and you would choose whether or not you want to share it to all the members in your account. So what that does effectively is allows you flexibility to be able to just go through and, sorry, I'm just turning something off so it doesn't keep buzzing at me. So that you have the ability to share it with those members, so you can assign tasks, you can get them having visibility to the things that you want them to be able to do. So let's have a look at how we have our tasks set up and how we can utilize the tasks within the jobs. And then within the tasks, we also have our checklists. So if we want to set up a cloned one, I showed you how you could click on the clone and create that. If I want to create a task template to begin with, I can simply go here and click on new, give my template a name, because it doesn't always have to be about doing a lodgement. This could be about something else. Something could be something along the advisory side of your business as well. And I might say, yes, I'm going to share that with the thing. So this health check. Why is it not letting me do that? And in here, I would then go through and add my various tasks. I would choose whether I want to share it or not, and then I would simply click on save. I'm not quite sure why it's having an issue today doing that for me, but you can see how simple it is to set up that task. Once you have set up your task, you can then go through, and if it's something that you do with multiple clients, you could create specific jobs and attach it with specific clients. We're going to do the jobs with clients and the tasks to the jobs. So we've got this task preparation checklist that we've got. And in here, you'll see that within each task, I've gone through and actually added checklists. So I'm going to say this, let me say this for a moment. Cancel, edit the task. It's not letting me edit it, there it is. So in here, I can go through and add in my checklists to create all the things that I want to be carried out in order to complete that task. So this is how, when you are onboarding your new employees, you have set about what it is, the expectations that are to be met in order to complete this task, so that they totally understand that the process that you would like followed. And you can have this consistently done across your client base. So when we're creating that task with its checklists, it means it's able very easily to be spread across multiple clients with multiple employees accessing the same standards and the same processes. Consistency and efficiency. So I'm going to go into here to create a new task within this one here. And I'm going to give the task a name. So each task needs to have a name. So I'm just going to go some sort of name here. I can give it a description so that they know what this everyone knows what this task relates to and what exactly is it, it can be used for. So in this here, and this is a new client review, advisory-based clients. And then in here, you can see I have my checklist. So this is where I'm going to add in my additional information as to what I want to put in. So I'm going to put in here now, review balance sheet. Review profit and loss. Review payroll. And whatever else I want to review. Once I've done that in my custom task area, I can save that. So now I have this custom task called advisory review. This custom task within here called advisory review. It's within this BAS preparation checklist. If I've accidentally added it to the wrong area, which I have, I can simply remove it from that task template. So I can add tasks into my existing templates, or I can create brand new tasks with their checklists on their own. So I'll try again. I've got one here. I've got a new test template here. So I can see there's information in here. Now, once you've created your task templates with their checklists, you're ready to actually set up your jobs. So you need to set up the tasks first. You need to work out in your processes, in your business, in your practice, what are the processes? What are the processes you go through to do a BAS? What are the processes you go through to do an STP lodgement each month or each week if you're using that, in GovReports or whichever way? What are the processes you do to go through the normal month end for a client? So you can set all these task templates up with the various checklists. And you do this before you create the job templates. So the tasks are there to formalize the process. The checklist is the actual steps of the process. The tasks are the higher level of the process. The checklists are the detail of what has to be completed. Now you're going to set up the jobs, because these jobs are the ones that you're going to set up about which clients and the frequency. And you can utilize the job templates that you set up can be utilized across multiple clients, not just one. And you can then customize, once it's saved those ones and created those jobs, you can then go in and update the scheduled jobs so it becomes a little bit more personalized for that client. So as I've mentioned, the job template allows you to create a single job template that's not recurring in its nature. You cannot set up a new client on a single job template and then convert it to recurring. It doesn't work that way. You need, it's going to be, the relationship's going to be recurring in nature, these jobs going to recur on a regular basis, then you need to set it up as recurring. You may set up a job template for some rescue work that you're doing to get a client up to date. It's a single one-off job, so you would use the job template to do that. So I'm going to go and click on the recurring job template just to show you some of the things that are there. So we've got here wages, monthly IAS, etc. different BASs. So in here, you would create a new job for one that you're going to set up for the first time. You give the job a name. So I might go BAS preparation MYOB, because there may be a few different little steps in here. Now in here, I'm then going to give it a name. I tend to be very mundane and give my job and my template name the same. How frequently is this going to be happening? You can set one up that is quarterly, you can set one up to be monthly, you could have similar ones, but this one's going to be quarterly. When's it going to start? It's going to start on the 1st of April. And then am I going to share this with all members? Yes, I will, but I don't have any more members, so that's why it won't let me go yes, because I don't have any additional users. How many days? Well, I want to finish this within 45 days. So I want to be sure that by mid-May, it's complete. What sort of priority do I want to give it? High, low, medium? I'm just going to say medium. Who's it being managed by? Now, if I had a staff member that I wanted to assign this, I would assign it to my staff member here and tick it here, and then they would have visibility to this in their GovReports in their My Jobs area. I then go to next. It will ask me, what template am I using? A default template or a custom task template? I'm going to say a custom task template, and I'm going to choose one of them. I'm just going to use this one just because I am. And I copy that in to do it. And can you see, this is why we do our tasks first before we do the jobs. So if you've set the jobs up before setting up the tasks, you can go through and change that. My apologies, bear with me for a moment. The joys of working from home when your home phone is near your office. So you can go through and set the jobs up first. You can then go through and amend those scheduled jobs to update with the most recent task. So if you've accidentally set the job up first before setting up the task, then you can set the job up, you can leave it blank, and then you can go back in later and amend it and upload the task templates. I hope that answers your question, Mandy, for you. So you can see in here, this is a BAS preparation one, we've called it, and you can see all the stuff that it's pulled in to do with it. You can see here are my tasks. This is the task name here, and here is all my checklists. So as the work is completed, the staff member would be go through and checking them off, and or they'd be marked as complete like this as they go through. But we don't do that at this stage. We're setting it up first. Once we're happy with that, we click on Save. And then we get an option to attach this task to a client. So we're going through and attaching this to a client. So we go Attach to Client, and then our client list will appear. So for my own benefit, I have set up so that I can have the ones that are So I set them up so that my Xero, my MYOB, my QuickBooks Online, because they all have slightly different things I need to do with them, especially when it comes to running the reports that I use as the backing documentation. So I would then go through and select all the clients that might apply to. So I'll click My Girl Designs in this instance. And you can see here that this is the name it's going to give it. And when I submit that, that has completed my setup of my job. So you can see now, that's preparation MYOB, medium, the date range, it's going to be due by the middle of the month. It's on a quarterly basis. And now when I go to my jobs, you will find, and I'm just going to go 100 of them, go down to the date range that's really going to be more applicable to it. You can see now, here it is. It's given it this name, My Girl Designs. You can see it. And so now when your staff member or yourself, you start on it, you click on it, and you can work through those tasks and those checklists. You've got that consistency, you've got that efficiency. What you've done is you've made it simple and straightforward for someone to follow a process. It streamlines your processes. All the jobs that are upcoming can be seen in the scheduled jobs. So if you need to make a change, such as this, the job name, that doesn't make any sense to me. I would change the job name and I would edit it in here. And so I would call this quarterly BAS preparation. Next, and save my changes. Helps if I change it down here. And save my changes. So now it has a name, quarterly BAS preparation. If you wanted to leave that in front, that's absolutely fine. But you'll always see the client name in there anyway. So you'll always get that visibility for that client name. So you can see now, if you need to make a change to any of the scheduled jobs, you can do so. But it will only affect the schedules that are upcoming. It won't affect schedules that are already on display in the My Jobs area. Now, the other way is to see where you're at. You can see very quickly here with My Jobs an overview of where things are at. But if you wanted to see what stages things are at, because you've got, here you've got over 200, 2 pages worth of these. If you want to filter it to be a little bit more specific, so you can see what ones you're still waiting on signature for or whatever it might be, you can filter in here to choose the ones that are at the comply stage. And when you search that, it will only display those jobs that are at the comply stage. And so in here, you can now see that there are various things in here that it's been sent for authorization. And so that might ask you to then go up into the digital authentication here and send a reminder to the client, if you haven't already got that turned on, to remind them to sign their BAS or IAS or whatever document they may have outstanding with you. So as your staff are working through their tasks, they're marking them as complete, and then they are completing the task. So you've got the checklist being marked as complete, and then the task being marked as complete. Personally, I go through and do it this way and mark it all as complete in one go. And because I don't want to go edit complete, edit complete, edit complete, because some of the actual jobs I have got quite a few tasks, I'll make a note of that job number, 2, 3, 4, and 6, and I'll go into the My Tasks area, type in that job number, if I've put the right number of zeros in, I have, and then I will tick it here and mark it completed in one hit. Another time saver for me. As I go through and do things, I mark them in, as I said, that mark complete, to bulk mark them as complete rather than individual, and also going through here to bulk mark it, those tasks as completed. Now, you can also go through and set up a weekly summary report that allows you in your account in the notification settings here, it allows you to receive a weekly report showing the status of all the lodgements, all the completed jobs, all the upcoming jobs, and that is emailed to your email address. So once again, this streamlines the process, shows you where you're at, and highlights what needs attention. So with any of those jobs that you've set up, you can go through, schedule the dates, change the deadline dates, prioritize them, assign them against managers, and allocate team members so that you can have that same process happening for everybody. Everybody is on the same page. You know where you're at in your practice, and you can track things very easily. And that, combined with the outstanding reports and other functions that are within the GovReports area in the lodgements area itself, and the other part of the GovReports, that's clients and lodgements area, you have a more streamlined workflow. You can manage your workflow process. You have consistent processes, the same processes and tasks and checklists to be followed for your clients consistently, so that all your staff members and yourselves, you know exactly what you need to be doing, when you need to be doing it, and how you need to be doing it. That's about most of what I have for covering for today. Tiana, is there anything else that you wanted to cover off?
I think we go to the questions. Anyone has any questions why we got to here? Coming back to Vicky. Vicky, regarding your questions, whether we have a report to obtain a report for all clients owing money. At the moment, it is not, I don't think it's, we don't have this ability yet, because each of the clients, when we synchronize with the ATO, it only comes with their individual requests for to obtain the data. As you are also aware that even with the integrated clients account or the income tax account for tax agents, it's only by request. So in other words, if you go to the clients and you click to obtain the report, it will come through. And because we don't store this data, that's why we can't, at the moment, it's not, it's that particular report obtaining the list of all clients owing money. We don't have that yet, but we'll think about it and we'll send it off to the business analyst to see if we have that options to be able to download that list. We'll come back to you. We'll let you know if that's available, and we'll update when we have that ability. Okay, we do have a few other questions. In the employee contractor reports, what does the warning mean in lodgement response? The warning is usually if you don't have all the information requested in the form, it will come back with a warning, but it still will be lodged through. For example, you might have some contractors who do not have the ABN, or you do not have the some of the contact details. So when you lodge those report, the TPA report, that will come back with a warning. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But it will still be lodged through.
There is a warning, they need to go through
That's for the TPA, but if you, that's contractors report. But if in SDP, if you're lodging contractors in SDP, if there is a warning coming through, you need to fix the issues. Otherwise, it won't be accepted. Or if it goes to the ATO, there will be some errors. But I believe you're talking about the contractors in the you're referring to the TPA. So that, yeah, the warning it's not an issue. It's just, like I said, it means that you don't have an ABN, you don't have all the information that's requested. Okay. Another questions from Sue, and is there a way to extend the timeout period before being logged out? She finds herself continuously logged in many times a day, and while she has the program open all day, as I use my practice extensively. Sandeep?
At the moment, we have set the session for 20 minutes. So, and also if there is a inactive on the account, so for the security reasons, then we pop up the password to enter to regenerate the session. So this is for the security reasons, Diana. So we can't extend that more than 20 minutes.
Apologies, Sue. I think it's Sandeep. What Sandeep meant is that because of the ATO security compliance requirements for software providers, we can only have it for 20 minutes. What if they use the practice management tool, Sandeep, and could we, the lodgement, could we sort of like freeze the lodgement sections or the data, but instead, because practice management tool, they might need to get access to it on a continuous basis during the day?
If they're continuously using, whether it's a practice management or a lodgement platform, the system is same. Even though it's a different application, within GovReports, it's all same. It won't time out. Plus, the session won't get time out.
I can offer some.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
One of the things I do, because I have my practice management open every day, all day, and of course, yes, it does log out after a period of time of inactivity. However, because I am using a password management system on my computer, when it logs out, it comes up and it pre-populates with my password whilst that's turned on during the day and I'm near the screen. And it then just allows me to hit the enter key and re-log back in very quickly, rather than having to go all the way back in again and get my, second level code to get back in and things like that. So if it's multiple hours, then I have to go back and re-log in. But if it's only, if it's like 4 or 5 hours, then I have to log in all over again. But if I've got the password manager open so that I can pre-populate the information, like LastPass or 1Password or whatever, then all I have to do is if the screen comes up, it comes up and says it's logged itself out temporarily, and I just hit the enter key and it logs back in straight away, exactly where I was before.
We do have another question. How do we edit the potential new client from lead to client? Do you want to go to my clients?
Sure.
And if it's a lead, you can click on the lead, and that would take, and then I think
you need to go back to my clients again. Just click on active clients. active clients, go to the open under actions, click on open. Now on the top right corner, go to the more settings. Yeah, and you can see modify client status. So if it is a lead, so when you click on that, if it is a lead, then you will be getting an options to whether it's active or archive. Now this is an active client. You can change it to whether it's a lead or archive.
Yeah. And when you've got them in the lead, when you've also got them in the lead status here too, you normally have a button there. You can do something.
It's the same settings for all type of clients.
Okay, well, it looks like we don't have any more questions. If we have, if after the webinar and you thought of some questions that we have not answered, gone through today, you can always reach out to us after the webinar and let us know so that we can attend to these questions that you have. Once again, thank you. Thanks, Alee, for the presentations. I think it has been really good for a few people here. There is another question for Mandy. Can you merge two businesses if you have entered them twice?
No, for each business, I mean, you can't merge the accounts unless,
I think we better get clarifications from Mandy. Mandy, do you mean two business account, two GovReports account, or two business clients? Got it. It's two clients. They can merge.
Two different clients with two different ABNs. It's not possible.
Is it the same ABN? It's the same ABN, Mandy?
No. This is accidentally added same client twice. No, we can't do that. So we can manually do that from the back end. If there are lodgements made to the two different clients, but the same ABN has been already submitted to the ATO from GovReports. Unfortunately, we can't merge that, but because the reason is that the data are encrypted at the back end.
If it's the same ABN, it's unlikely you'll be able to duplicate it. You have duplicated records on your account. If it is, Mandy, please reach out to us offline. We're more than happy to assist you to basically merge those two clients into one.
There's one other question there too. How do you change text on an automatic email that gets sent to the client once the BAS is lodged?
Oh, that's easy. Can you go to lodgement settings, and report setting? This is the so if you've set up the automatic lodgement receipt being sent to your clients, this is the cover email template that you can go in and change. If you tick the send lodgement receipt to clients, then on the right hand side you've got the client configuration, which clients you want to receive automatic clients lodgement receipts. And so you tick that, and it's likely to be that you have this function on, so you can go in and change that email template, cover email template. And of course, if you got, because this is a testing account that Alee used for the webinar, there is no email signature in here, but otherwise, if this is her real account and she has an email signature on, it will be at the bottom, or you can put it in here. Okay, well, once again, thanks Alee, and thanks everyone for your attendance today. We look forward again to see you on the next webinar. Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Oh. You go to lodgement settings in the settings, and then lodgement settings, Mandy.
Thanks everyone. Have a good day. Thanks, Alee.
Bye.
Bye.